March 22nd. On guard mansion, living room. Maya! Please answer us, Mystic Maya! The bear is at the door. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. Assuming he is still in the area. Can't believe it. That butler all this time, he was the killer. He and On Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Okay, well it's like... everything else is the same apart from that bear. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. Figurine added to the court record. A bear. Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. I'm sure that's for Shu. You think that this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. There's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is On Guard's private lounge. Did notice the picture's gone as well, though. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. There's a tape with the important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. There's no mistake that someone used to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. What I'm thinking is that the picture's gone right there. And I'm very much thinking, I want to try and find Maya. There it is. We searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. Looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. I already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. Is like, yeah, straightway going to the picture. This looks like a picture of Miss Inpax. With love, Celeste. Miss Inpax? You mean... Yes, Mr. Kurita's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Inpax be here in Mr. On Guard's mansion? Why does it say, with love? This might be a clue. Celeste's photo added to the court record. Ah. What's wrong, Pearls? Please let me see that picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back, there's something written on the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get On Guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slimebagger not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. Guess I'll talk to you guys later. I know. Mystic Maya. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We searched the house and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth? Yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. Okay. But I'm still short on one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' psych lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow to blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. March 22nd, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your psych lock. Psych lock? I want to know, and you will tell me, your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Alright then, go straight with the Magatama.
Take that!
Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Ungard for a murder? I've already told you countless times, it's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. Ungard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So, you're saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why. What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Well, yeah, but it's going to be evidence. I was thinking like I was going to go there, but it's going to be that piece of evidence we just got, which is the photo, so.
Take that!
Are you trying to help or hurt Matt with what you're doing? Huh? What do you mean? This random, haphazard throwing out of evidence you're so fond of doing. That's not what I was trying to do at all. Then refrain from doing it anymore. Oh. Alright then. Guess I screwed up big again. So you were saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't know anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews. Woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Okay, alright, we'll go with the... I still feel like that's going to be the evidence that we need, but...
Take that!
Celeste. There is only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings. And even revenge. And that is Miss Inpax's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Yuan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Yuan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right. You haven't even mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. Ungard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? That's gotta be the evidence now.
Take that!
This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looked younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? No, it's not. Oh. Where did you find this? No, that's all right. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Ungard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. There we go. Good. There we go. Why frame him? Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Yuan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Kurita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because of Mr. On Guard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste. She was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why. With love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? Wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that is where she met Yuan. She seemed really happy with him. Even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Yuan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then were suddenly called off. On the night Yuan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was a revenge for Celeste and myself. Revenge? I definitely need more details here. I'm sure even you can guess why Yuan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Yuan about his relationship with Celeste. I see. So that's what happened. But why did Mr. Kurita have to call off the wedding? Yeah, that's a dick move. I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Yuan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement, then unleashed the truth on Yuan. Like, again, that would be a dick move, because it's like, do you love her or not? That's all that matters. He was aiming for when it would hurt Yuan the most. Poor Miss Inpax. That wasn't the end of it. That day, almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds. And so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. And when Yuan discovered her body, he hid her note. Why would he do that? It's simple. Yuan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt. And it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, if his pride hurt, Yuan sought revenge. Revenge? There's that word again. One wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it from Yuan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Yuan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. At night when I found Yuan's body, it's only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on each other, after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I'd even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note. That's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them to my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Yuan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. Can't sleep either. Not with Maya's situation or with what I now know. To be continued. Pretty much right now, you know, we'll just skip past the save, like, no. Girl, how did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What have I done wrong? Cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title. Order! I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. Good luck! March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Now listen up. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slimebagger not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. Maya. Phoenix. Mia? Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left, not here, not anywhere. It's that accursed on guard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore, I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Come shoot, I'm really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team, and we're chasing after the killer, pal. And you have some sort of lead. Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Come shoot. Till the trial is over. Till the verdict is handed down. We're going to do everything we can and find the killer. We can get Maya out, and you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. You have to make the trial last longer. If you go at Mr. Edgeworth for everything you've got, then you too can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Chocolate. Well, no, money can buy... Oh, friendship, friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. March 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. It's 10 a.m. It's too early. I haven't woke up yet. Oh, no. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly I had for was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder. That is to say, she really connected to the crime itself. Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. On guard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of those actions are those from which she cannot escape. And you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It's like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes. Juan Carrito was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Mr. On guard. A client? What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what is going on this time. So I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. And now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underappreciated action star. And underpaid. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, that's, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry, well, but just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But, you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you were asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. On guard's room. Okay, sure. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Okay, looking around at like anything significant here, all seems fine. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them there for a while, but then I gave up and went back. Had guests with me that night, and couldn't make them wait for me. That was it? Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Power's testimony. Talking with a bellboy is no big deal. Well, from your point of view. One assumes that the person Mr. Ungard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy. What are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? Yeah, but do we want to fall into the traps, or what? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? Visit to Matt's room. Thinking the statement about the thirsty thought it was the bellboy. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone at first. I thought it was the bellboy. At first, yeah. What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and had a bottle of juice on the tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. Why is that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. Guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. Did you get any more information at the time? Something like that? You saw the two of them. The bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. Because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip, but that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how did you watch the two of them? Not for more than a minute or two, I think. I had guests with me that night and I couldn't make them wait for me. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Okay. After the awards ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in the nickel samurai costume. Yeah, that all makes sense. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I mean, again, it's that case of... I want the profiles. Like... Mr. Phoenix Wright here would not make the connection, but... Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. No, it doesn't, then. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Objection denied. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. Whoops. That didn't go so well, no. Talking with someone at first, I thought it was the bellboy. I was standing there in front of his room in the costume. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. Like, did you see a card or all? But I don't think he'd present the card to Matt himself. It's the only thing I could think of. But it's like, I doubt it. Let's go through pressing on everything. That's all I can think right now. I try and get more information from everything here. The defendant's room? Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother sort of. And I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright? What is it? You're going to try to trick me into a corner, aren't you? Huh? I know I'm just a poor, underpaid action star and underappreciated, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please, don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, your witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness? I'll personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So, you went to the defendant's room and then? Hey, wait a minute. When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? You're defending a murderer. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in costume.
Hold it!
Are you sure that was Matt on guard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the Nickel Samurai mask then. If that's the case, then he really can't be mistaken. And? What was the defendant doing standing in front of his room? He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy.
Hold it!
At first? What do you mean by that? I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, gave the bellboy a tip. Couldn't it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This bellboy wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Okay. Matt gave the bellboy a tip. Press on it. So he gave the bellboy a tip. So strange about that. Oh, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got into his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. Afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. Wouldn't know which of his shocking moments I should ask about. Well, the tip. The defendant's a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure, but giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court? About how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. Why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? There is a roll. I have one of those in my pocket. Oh, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. What I'm thinking, wait and see. And I will find out whether or not I'm right at the start of the next part. Ta-ta for now!